Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Talk with The Show. You are tuned in with myself, Mr. Scott Lylander, and we have a very special guest with us today who is going to be at the show June 7, 8, 9 in beautiful Orange County, Hilton, Costa Mesa. And we've got Fabian Geyrhalter of Toneoptic, and we're just going to talk about audio. This is the talk. So, Fabian, why don't you tell us about yourself and about Toneoptic?
Cool. Yeah. No, absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me. Toneoptic is a very, very new company. So whoever comes to the show in about a month from now, when we tape this, will be one of the first to really experience the product in person and kind of like try it on. So the story of Toneoptic, I love music. And I think that's something that we can all come together around, right? But I'm pretty obsessed. I'm pretty obsessed with it. So I grew up in Vienna. That's where my accent comes from. And my dad played the violin. He was a concert master at some of the world's finest orchestras, including the Vienna Philharmonic. So there was music in the house, as is stereotypical with a Viennese household at all times. When I was 11, I went to my first record fair, and I think by age 14, I had a pretty sizable T.H.E record collection. So I started very early. Music was really big for me. Today, I've got around 2,000 records, which for a lot of vinyl collectors, they're like laughing at me. I'm like, this is pretty sizable. It's pretty good. And I also make music. I've got a little side band called Happiness One. And so music is really, really important to me. On the other side of the spectrum, I've been studying design. So this RPM idea kind of like combines, design and music and those two passions. So what the RPM is, since you're not seeing it, and you can always go to toneoptic.com or hit us up on socials. It's basically solving a problem that I had. And like so many during the pandemic, a lot of personal problems came up with like, oh, I could fix this, or I could fix that. Well, for me, it was the idea that I had my back during the pandemic, 1,500 or so records on the wall, like everyone has, beautiful library style, right? Showing off all the beautiful spines. And I kept playing the same 20, 30 records. And it was the ones that had the standout spines, the ones that were super easy to differentiate or read. And it kind of bugged me. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could just like pull records out, rotate 90 degrees, flip through them like in a record shop, and just push them back into the wall. And that was the idea. And then I was crazy enough to make that one phone call of like, hey, can someone help me with this? And then next thing you know, I'm on this show with you talking about this new company. So that's that.
Wonderful. Well, you're the crazy entrepreneur who, had an issue, and it was with your own collection, in your own space, and you're just wondering, how can I make this better? What can I do to improve the experience of my record collection? And I really like, physical media is so great. It's such a fantastic way to have a tangible item in your hands. And of course, like you said, just to recap, when you have all of your records sort of stashed away and you can just see the spines, and sometimes they're packed so tightly that you can't, you're struggling to get through your collection, the RPM solves that problem, where the RPM, you simply pull it out, it'll rotate your collection so that you get to flip through it just like the record store.
Exactly. And to me, design is important, like to a lot of hi-fi, connoisseurs, where it is, they want to create a room that is invitable, right? Not just like, oh, it's the man cave, or I guess the women cave, right? Like it's your space of like, oh, you go there and listen to music. That's not how music should be enjoyed anymore. I think like music should be brought into the living room. It should be something that that people should just share with others, right? And then you want to have a design solution. You want to have something that looks great. And I am, not someone who would like to have my living room, or even if it would be my music listening room, look like a record store, right? Where there's like bins everywhere, and where it's like you flip through everything, and it's just a personal preference.
Yeah, okay.
Especially when you have a lot of them, right?
And hey, when you're from Vienna, you want things elevated. You want it
It's
kicked
the
up another notch.
snootiness. It's the snootiness that comes with being from Vienna. Absolutely.
And I think I think it's a great solution, and it's a great way, of course, for your friends also to check out the record collection and to go through them. Um, of course, we can't display that on right here, right now. We've sort of shared the concept of the RPM. Go to toneoptic.com and check out the RPM. Now, of course, we've got June 7, 8, 9 at the show. And tell us about what you're bringing and how excited you are to be there.
Well, I'm excited because I mean we just started taking orders in November, I believe. The product started shipping in February. Now we've got May, so everything is just really really new. I just start seeing the RPMs go up in people's rooms, and it's really exciting. So to see the RPM in real life is still kind of like, seeing a Tesla Cybertruck 5 months ago, where you're like, what's that? Right. So I think it's really exciting. And that's what I'm excited about, is to have this weird new thing at the show where people can just go and they can actually try it out. They can flip through the records. They can even pick up one if they want to. I'm going to make sure to do a 10% discount for the show.
Nice.
But you can actually literally just pick it up and go, as long as we have enough stock, of course. But yeah, I'm excited to share that. I'm going to be in a space. I think it's called Vinylorium, or
The Vinylonium.
Vinylonium. I'm going to be in the Vinylonium. So it's a super exciting space within the show where it's all vinyl all the way. So you can shop for records in some booths. You can look at other, vinyl related gadgets. And so I'm just excited to meet everyone in the space. It's a new industry for me. Again, I'm just a consumer. I'm just a record lover and a hi-fi, I'm not a hi-fi enthusiast. I'm going to learn a lot there. I just enjoy good music and good sound and good records, but I wouldn't call myself a hi-fi enthusiast. So it's going to be a great learning experience too.
Yeah, there are so many great reasons to come to the show. Of course, shopping is a great reason. There's a lot of vinyl that is for sale at the show. You could purchase one and take it over to Kermis's booth and get it cleaned and see how that will improve the sound. But I'm an audiophile. I'm a gear nerd. Of course, music first, audiophiles. But if it's not reproduced well, if it's not connecting with you, I think that that's the gear's job. And if your gear's doing that, we can be music first. But the show is a great place to listen to so much gear. Daniel,
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Daniel Colley says, amazing solution.
Cool. Awesome. Good, Daniel. You're going to be my best friend at the show.
That's right.
Say hi when you're there.
And just to recap, what we heard is that you can check it out. You can put your hands on it. You can buy it, and you can get a 10% discount when you buy it at the show. So that is super exciting, and I can't wait to can't wait to check it out.
And you know, you said something that I think is super important, and it's very, very important to me too. With hi-fi equipment, it's so much about the sound, right? Like, and all these little details. And so when we created the RPM, that idea of like how it feels, right? Like the tactile nature of like how you put the needle on the record, and how you change the speed, and you know, if you change the belt, and like all, and you have the knob that you actually turn, and you feel how it goes from one thing to the, that's what we wanted to bring into the RPM too, that when you actually open it, it is a really cool feeling. Like, it just, and I'm not, I mean, I'm very biased, obviously, but you know, like early customers, they say, you're not going to believe like how that feels, right? Like, it just feels really, really sturdy, and that's super important. So that's why I'm excited for people to actually start using it there, and they're like, oh, like this is really nice, you know, so that they feel like it's part of their room of, you know, other very, very nice equipment.
And that's a huge part of it, the tactile experience. And when you get to experience it for yourself, you're like, oh yes, just yes. So we got you got a compliment there from my buddy Larry Stugel, and just saying, hey, Fabian, you got great energy. Looking forward to stopping by and saying hi and checking out the product. Larry is there every year, and
Awesome.
his wife, Mysterious Marie, is another ambassador for the home entertainment show. I myself am an ambassador, and what that really means is that, you know, I just love hi-fi. I love the gear. I love the music. You know, I love the tactile experience of it all. You know, I got into records because it was so, you know, ritualistic, and you know, just that really complements what the show is about. And of course, for me, I always say, what's the most important part of your audio system? And I like to say it's the human connection. And when we go to the show, you know, my favorite part is seeing the friends, seeing people that repeatedly come in and over. So yeah, that's super happy to be there. And as an
Excited to
ambassador,
meet everyone. Yeah, it's gonna be nice to get to know the entire hi-fi posse that you know, is all new to me. So
yeah, and hey, look, as a first, you know, as a first time at the show, or any show, we can't wait to hang out and show you around. I know that you're going to be hanging out in the Binalonium, but just know that there's so much that happens after hours in a lot of the rooms. Personally, one of my favorite rooms is one of my favorite after hours experiences is a presentation in the High End by Oz room, and we get special reel to reel tapes by United Home Audio, and these are, you know, these are really special tapes that, you know, don't see a lot of use. And it's fantastic when you get to listen to that, on, you know, on hi-fi, on high-end gear.
amazing. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I can't,
super
you know,
cool.
definitely pay attention to what happens after hours.
Yeah, I think we're all excited for sure. Very cool.
Yeah, so so we got, you know, we have the RPM is going to be available at the home entertainment show. And I know that, hey, just sort of checking out toneoptic.com, one of my favorite things about your website, okay, is the crate dig. Now, where did that come from, and how did that come? Why don't you tell people about that?
Yeah, I mean it's the simplest thing, right? It's the crate dig is me every month wherever I am in the world, hitting up a record shop and going to the owner and saying, hey, what's the coolest vinyl you just got in the last couple of days that you would love to have for yourself, but I'm gonna buy it off of you, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna buy whatever they say, not what I say, right? Because I would go in and I've got my one track mind for the couple of bands or the couple of things I'm interested in, or the genres that I know. But it's so cool to have them be like, you're gonna do what? You're gonna spend like $60 or $70 or whatever it is, right? On a record that you don't know, and I tell you to buy. And I'm like, yeah, that would be great. And then I tell them about Toneoptic, which is nice, and they're getting excited. And then people can just basically leave their email on our website to be part of the virtual crate dig. And then they're entered to win the record of the month, right? And I mean, there's not a huge expense to this promotion, right? But it's just a cool way to connect with people, right? And people are really excited because that's what's cool about crate digging, is getting to know a record shop, getting to know the owner, getting to know something that they otherwise might have not picked, and getting that record in the mail is just awesome. So once a month we send it out to a lucky winner. And because we're so small and because we're so new, we're such a baby, it's like right now it's like 25 people or 30 people, right, that are so the chance is 1 in 25, which is amazing, right? So it's a really cool way for me to build my tribe and to get people excited. And it's all about music for me, so the RPM just facilitates the discovery of music, really.
All right. So for all of our viewers out there, you just heard it on The Talk. Go to toneoptic.com. Check out the crate dig. Every month, Fabian is giving away a record that he goes and digs around, finds something new, and the chances of winning that are right now, they're really good. So
Pretty good.
definitely, you heard that here at The Talk. Now, I while we're doing that, I just want to also encourage everyone to go to theshownow.com and get your tickets for June 7, 8, 9 at the Hilton, Orange County, Costa Mesa, California. Of course, I love California. The beaches and the sun, and the cars and the culture. I love California. And if you use the code Ambassador5, you can get a $5 discount on your tickets. And I just got to say, for the price of the show, like it's cheap. It is the most fun you can have for 3 days, inexpensive. It is exceptional value. So hey, you know what? Let's talk about records a little more.
Let's do it. I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay. So all right. Unless I want to talk about records anymore, but I want to ask: is there anything else about Toneoptic that you want our viewers to know right now?
I mean, they should know everything about Toneoptic. I mean, look, I mean, we talked about a lot, right? I think really, the Toneoptic RPM is super modular, right? So you can have one of them, you can bottom mount it onto something that is stable, or you can mount it onto the wall. You can have a couple of them, you can build them in, you can build a shelf around. So there's really a whole lot of stuff you can do. It's made for around 75 records, but really that's cheating, because in the end, with those reissues, with the double sleeves, with the 180 grams, like in the end, it's most probably more around 55, 60 that you can nicely pack in there and be able to flip through them. And that's it. Yeah. I mean, otherwise there's not much. I mean, I just hope that I'm going to see you guys at the show, and you're going to get to experience it yourself. And yeah, now we can geek out about vinyl records or anything else.
All right, so we have Marie Green said, just looked at the RPM. It's very pretty. Makes your records into art. Yes, that's.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why the solution exists, because we want our stereo systems to be we want our collections to be art, and we want that to be a reflection of ourselves.
It's really form and function, right? And that's to me, that's really what design is, right? It's form and function, and if the two come together, then good things happen. And I hope and I think that's what's going on with the Toneoptic RPM. So
very
thank
nice.
you for that comment.
It's ironic that you had just mentioned that not all records, not vinyls. Come on.
I did not say anything, I'm just a guest,
I did it. Not all records are the singular ones. And I just want to talk about my record experience recently. And I got to share a record that I've been listening to recently. I'm such an audiophile that I have it right here. Now, I went crate digging, okay? And I've been into this label right here, the Deutsche Grammophon, and I picked up Mahler Symphony Number 9 for $10, right?
Amazing.
And of course, it's got the box, and it's got like this is why I love vinyl. It's just like it's the whole experience. It's holding it in there. It's everything you get inside of the physical media.
And that's not an AI. That's not an AI headshot either. That's real. that's Mahler.
And this, you know what? This was printed in Germany, and it is dated
when, like in the 60s, most probably
1977.
Yeah, amazing. And the quality must be superb, and you got it for $10, which is insane.
And of course, there's 2 records in there, a box, and I actually have it hanging up right there. So I'm like
Beautiful.
you. I love my records to be on display and artistic. But the sound there is just. I've been playing it like continuously. I'm like, it's just so good.
And I mean, that's really the thing, right? You want to get the full vinyl experience. And I feel like when you have your records on the wall, library style, they look so cool, because you can show like, I've got so many records, right? Which we all like. We're like, this looks beautiful. This is my collection. But flipping through records, that's really it, right? Where you get to touch it, you get to look at the cover. And if you start having a really sizable collection, you forget you have things, right? I know a lot of friends who buy things 2 or 3 times because they forgot they already had it. They're like, oh, I forgot I had like the 1989 pressing of, whatever, like repress of Wish You Were Here, right? And now they have it again. And they're like, oops, and the significant others are like, yep, that's the problem, right? But that idea of being able to flip through something and then take it out, and suddenly you're like, oh, I haven't heard that. I haven't listened to this record in 10 years, right? And you put it on, and then the nostalgia and like that, it's just, we can geek out on it. It's good. It's nice. I approve.
Approved.
Yeah.
I love listening to music because it almost takes you like, it takes you into a creative state. And I definitely love symphonies, and because there's not a lot of lyrics, there's not a lot that I have to focus on in the story. But when I get to listen to just the tempo and the beat, it's like it's very uplifting, and it elevates my creativity, and it's like, yeah, I'm in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to music pretty much 24/7. And when I do, it's like there are very different types of genres or different types of playlists that I have for different types of things, right? Because it needs to support what you do during the day, right? It's the high adrenaline stuff. It's like the slow, like wind down stuff, wine or wind down, depending, both work, right? And what you're talking about with symphonies or instrumentals, whatever instrumental you pick, that I choose to get stuff done, right? Like when I have to write, when I have to focus, when I have to
Yeah.
create,
Yeah.
exactly to your point. So yeah, no, it's a wonderful thing.
And look, I was just thinking something on your, when you were saying flipping through your record collection, and I was just thinking, that's so nostalgic, because so much of the time we're scrolling, like we're
Yeah.
scrolling our music, and it's almost a lost art form to flip through your music, unless you're a vinylista, and you're going to the record stores all the time, which of course, if you're tuning in here, you probably are. But Daniel says hi-fi is the cheapest time machine we currently make, and
I like that. I like that. Vinyl. Well, the cheapest. Most probably, it's pretty darn expensive, but it's the cheapest time machine, right?
yeah.
It's
Well,
like
if you
I
think
just
about the
wanted to say,
cost of it,
I mean, how good for you if you're into classical music and you can appreciate it, because this is where you still get value with vinyl records, right? Because classical music is priced so inexpensively in comparison to most other genres, right? That you can actually still find deals. With most other things, you can't find deals anymore. Like Discogs, as a platform, completely ruined that for all of us. It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
even at Goodwill, like everything is like, like, oh, here's the $30, steal. I'm like, really?
So, where is? Do you have any? Okay, do you have any tips or tidbits on where to find cheap vinyl? I got one, but I'm gonna ask you if you have any tips for our viewers on how
I
to
got
score
one.
cheap vinyl.
Yeah, I got one, and like everything with vinyl, it's not convenient. So I usually so when you go to really remote towns, that have bookstores that happen to sell a little bit of used vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Those are the places that I hit up, because they are not going to Discogs figuring out what pressing it is, how much it is worth. They just get records like they get used books. Everything's priced $1 or $2, right? Just get it in.
Yeah.
I was at one of those stores up in Bakersfield, of all places, and they had an entire record section. And I bought an Ella Fitzgerald record signed for $1.
Nice.
And I was just like, I put it on the counter, and I'm like, please don't change your mind. Please don't see what I have here, right? And he's like, that's $1. And I'm like, awesome, right? But it's those kind of days
Yeah.
that make it all worthwhile, when you just, like dig for music, so often, and you don't
Okay.
find
Well,
much.
I want to share. I want to share an insider tip. But first, we got Soda Pop. He's part of the show, and he says, "Hello, Fabian. The RPM is incredible. A must-have for every collector of vinyl."
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Soda Pop. So, hey, if you're looking to score cheap vinyl, okay, I got this classical in Portland, Oregon, is where I shop for vinyl, and but I got a secret tip, and it's estate sales. And
Oh
my
yeah.
buddy goes down to Florida, and the population is getting older, and there's a lot of people passing away, and their collections and their gear go up in estate sales. So hey, you didn't hear it from me, but you heard it at the talk. Go find those estate sales and find massive collections. How big is 2,000 records? How, like, physically? How, I'm trying to
It's
visualize.
not that big. I mean, it's like, I don't know, like people, when they think records, they think IKEA Kallax units, right? So it's kind of like, it's like one of the larger ones, filled
Yeah,
top
okay.
to bottom, pretty
No,
much. That gives you an idea. It's like a bookcase,
yeah, that's a
ceiling to,
solid.
yeah.
That's a solid collection. Have you ever been offered to buy a collection of vinyl? So just like a great big collection that you haven't, it's not cataloged, you don't know exactly what's in there, but
No, I haven't, and that's a good thing. Because if I get into the habit of selling, buying to sell, then it is just taking over everything else that I'm doing, and I already have so much going on that would be, that would not be where I want it to be.
yeah,
I'm pretty focused on what I collect, right? So I like that like razor sharp focus. I'm a
yeah.
huge Depeche Mode collector. I've got like 800 something, records of just Depeche Mode. So I'm like, I'm not necessarily a completist because you
How
cannot
many
be
records
that.
do you have of Depeche Mode?
800 something, I believe, the
Okay,
last time I
you
checked.
would
But
definitely get along with my friend Mike Leach and Punk Floyd Four Eyes. He's a huge Depeche Mode fan. So yeah, you know what, that and you know what, when you're able to display that, you're like, oh, we have something in common.
and I gotta fact check how many I really have. I gotta go to
Okay, well,
Discogs
hey,
here
you
before
know
I let
what? Hey,
everyone go.
just remember, 98.25% of stats are made up on the spot.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's
And then they're
okay.
real,
All right.
right?
Just go with
Exactly.
it. We're just going to go with it. Hey, I just want to I want to thank you so much, Fabian, for being here at The Talk. And of course, once again, come see Fabian, come talk to him, come check out the RPM at the show in Orange County, Hilton, Costa Mesa, June 7, 8, 9. Get your tickets at theshownow.com. Use the passcode, what is it? Ambassador 5 for a $5 discount. Veterans and those in the armed services will receive free entry by bringing in proof of service. And come on, when you're at a hi-fi show, when you're at the show, I think I'm in heaven. So I hope everyone else is too. I can't wait to see you there. Is there anything else you want to say tonight?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to be there. This was great. I enjoyed all the questions and hanging out with you and everyone through the comments. And yeah, I see everyone in June.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, we're going to see you at the show. Until the next time, this has been another talk.